Hello, everybody. I'm just going to take you for a ride with me while I talk for a minute because I had a situation on our house yesterday where a bunch of teenagers pulled up thinking they were going to jump my 16-year-old son. This is the second time this has happened to our household. Second time I've had to chase teenage boys down to find out what is going on. Now, my son is a big boy, and if he really wanted to, he could put a hurting on somebody badly. But he is not a fighter, he's a lover. Just kidding. But no, really, he isn't. He's not a fighter. He's a Libra. He is not a fighter. He believes in peace, calm, nice, kind-hearted people. And that's it. No drama and no fighting. Discussing, like we should be doing, like everyone should be doing in this world. And this goes out to you teenagers out there and your parents that don't even want to raise your kids right. Man, I know when I was younger, and I'm 46, when I was younger, kids were mean. Nowadays, it's times 10. It's tenfold. These kids are mean as shit. Excuse my French. Mean. And it's coming from the parents. Okay? Because if the parents are doing the job properly, the kids aren't going to be like that. Now, granted, my son has some issues, but they're underlying issues. I know where they come from. I know what has happened in his life to traumatize him. Therefore, we work on it. We talk about it. He hasn't seen a counselor yet, but, I'm pretty good at keeping my son under control and making sure he doesn't pull no dumb shit. And if he does, guess what? He pays the consequences. Like, we're supposed to. So these kids show up at our house yesterday, a carload of kids, and my son wouldn't come out of the room, which was good. He stayed in his room. He made it easier for his mother to handle the situation. So I'm proud of him. People can say he's a pussy and say all they want, but my son could take on 4 or 5 boys at one time. He just doesn't realize his strength. He doesn't realize it. He learned karate when he was a younger boy. He got out of it. My son is not one for fighting. He doesn't like bullies. He has been bullied. I've had to go to the school 2 and 3 times because of a bullying situation. You parents need to wake up and pay attention to your kids, man. If you hate yourself, get over it. Because when you have kids, it is not about yourself anymore. If you drink, which I'm finding out here in the country, most of these parents' kids are alcoholics. So I can see right now where anger and frustration comes into play. If you are not raising your kids properly, it is your fault. So when these kids left yesterday, more like hauled ass out of my development as crazy mom is chasing them down the road, yes, that's what I was doing. I threw off my shoes in my yard, cut down a side road, and tried to head them off the path. But it didn't work. They were faster than I was. Yeah, the car was faster than I was, obviously. But I was mad as hell. Because you don't bring drama to my house. And you especially don't come to my house to fight my kid. These boys just are not aware of what my kid could really do. But my son is the bigger person, thank God. And will not stoop to that level. Thank God. I taught my son right. Thank God. And his father isn't even around because he just happens to be in prison at the moment. So my duties have become even more intense because I have to play the mother and the father role. And we live in a house full of dysfunctional other family members, okay? So it's very tough. Very tough for my son and me to keep our peace of mind. But I handled it pretty good yesterday. But I want to know what is going on with kids these days in this era. What is going on? I know a lot of them don't get out. We understand that. We know technology's taken over. Whatever. But, man, kids are mean. Mean. And if you even try to approach their parents, you see where it comes from. You see where the meanness comes from. Now, luckily, I was on the way to two kids' house yesterday, since they decided to outrun me in the car. I was on my way to go to two different kids' houses to speak to their parents. But I had to really stop and think, how are these parents going to handle me? Because let's face it, there's not too many nice people out there nowadays. And I come across very calmly and nice and willing to work with people. I'm very good at that. But I don't know what I'm going to encounter when I pull up to talk to kids' parents. I'm confident in my actions, but if they're not confident with their actions, it could get worse. It could become a pissing contest, you know? One protecting their child, another protecting their child, instead of looking at the facts of what really happened. What really happened? Now, I had every family member screaming at me about what happened. Blah, blah, blah. Different stories from each different person. So I knew I couldn't listen to that. So I had to talk to my son. I talked to two of the boys on the phone before I got to their parents' house. Because, let's face it, we don't know how parents are going to act these days. We really don't. So I talked to the boys and I handled it. Now, this is the second time I had to talk to my son's friends, as he calls the boys. D-boys. It's D-boys. I had to talk to them twice about this. Had them so scared, all their bottom lips were shaking. Okay? But, man, people, if you are not watching your kids' actions, if you are not watching how they treat people, if you are not paying attention, and I mean even in your peripheral vision, you are the problem. This is probably a second video I made about this, because it highly upsets me that teenagers act this way these days. They feel they can pull up to a house full of adults and one child, and they think they're going to pull my son out of the house? Nope. See that sign? COVID-19. They even have COVID-19 on the signs on 75. Good God. Anyways, people, look out for your children. Raise them properly. Raise them with love and attention. Because if you don't, that lack of love and attention is going to be poured out on other helpless victims, on other families, on other kids, on my kid. And I don't know about any other single parents out there. I am very protective. Very protective. I even had the neighbor run out in his underwear when he saw me kick off my shoes and run through his yard to hit the street to catch the car full of boys. This is what happened. We do not need drama. We have enough drama in this world. Our leaders cause enough drama and division amongst us. We need to get together, man, because time's getting short. It's getting short by the day. And if you don't know how to act, and your kids don't know how to act, well, I pray for you, because I don't know what you're going to do. I've worked very hard as a single mother to raise my kid now. Very, very hard. And it isn't easy. You want to be your kid's friend. You want to be their parent. You want to be their confidant. You want to be all that in one. And it doesn't work that way. And the kid don't let it be that way. And if you are that way, they tend to take advantage of you. So you need to find your line between, your little fine line, because everyone has their own, being your child's friend and their parent. Okay, because I know I went a long time being my child's friend and not so much parent. Well, in return, my son walked on me, took advantage of me. I no longer felt like a mother. I felt like a friend to my son. Then I had to learn to break that stage, which I did. And now that I did, he don't like it. And so, you so mean, Mom. Mom, you so mean. You so mean. No, I'm not mean. I'm just putting my foot down. And if you think I'm mean, well, hell, maybe I'm doing my job. Maybe I'm doing my job right. If I embarrass you, I am doing my job right as a mother. So you parents need to tighten up. Tighten your kids up, boy. I am not one that believes in getting the cops involved, any people, any authority figures involved, because they make it more of a harassment, whether it's jail time, fines, programs, counseling. They want to drag you through the mud and back again. All because someone had an anger issue. Okay? I believe in the good old days. Like my neighbor said, make a wrestling ring, and whoever has problems, you two get in that ring and fight it out. And let it be over and done with. And then you could probably go back to being friends. Hey, I did that when I was younger with plenty of people. That's what happened when I was younger. But nowadays, kids are so quick to attack each other on social media, which is actually what started this whole situation with my son and his friends. Trash talking on social media. This social media is destroying our kids. Destroying them. But if you take their phone from them, they can't use it. They can't use it in school or use it for whatever other things they need them to use it for. So taking the phone away doesn't really help too much when everything else is like they need the phone, they need the phone, they need the phone. So you can't take your phone away, all right? We are not in control of our kids anymore. They're trying to take that control away. Are people not seeing this? You gotta be deaf, dumb, blind, and stupid not to see they are targeting our freaking kids. They are targeting with medication and anger and other mean kids and mean parents and oh my God, you name it, and they're doing it. And they don't teach them crap at school, so they're dumber than dog shit, I hate to say. Okay, they don't use their initiative. They don't walk past something and say, oh, that's got to be done, let me do it. No, they don't do none of that. This generation of kids these days feel entitled, feel they don't have to work for their money, or they want the money up front before they do the work, which means they're not going to do the work. Our kids have gotten lazy. Don't blame it on your kids. Blame it on society. Blame it on the agendas that are pushed. There is an agenda pushed behind everything. I don't care if you're even a human being and you need to get something or have someone help you with something. There's an agenda behind it. Unless you have a pure heart and you are willing to help people out of the kindness of your heart, and you're not one of those people that are like, oh, well, they're not helping me back. They're not helping me back. Don't have an agenda behind you needing to do something. Don't do it. It's going to backfire in your face, I'll guarantee you. So I resolved that situation yesterday pretty quick. Before I showed up to one of the parents' houses, because I don't even know how that would have went. So, and you know, these kids go through this left and right, but fighting is not the answer. Communication is the answer. Communication, honesty, lovingness. You all need to get in touch with yourself, your inner self, find out who you are, what you want out of life, who your real friends are, who you can trust, who not to trust, who to stay completely away from. I've learned that over the last 4 years alone, and it has improved my life drastically. I don't really hang out with anybody. And when drama comes my way, I go the other way. You got to protect your heart and your peace of mind, because no one's going to do it for you. The government ain't going to do it for you. The police, counselors, your school, your neighbors, your friends, your family, alligators, dogs, cats, birds, none of them are going to do it for you. I could go on and on, but I'm not gonna, because I'm on my way to somewhere in Gainesville. But I just wanted to get that little rant out, because I had a very hard time with that yesterday. When the mother is in the middle of cleaning and trying to vacuum a pool and figuring it out, and she looks to the side of her yard and sees a car full of kids pull up, and they actually try to start fighting my sister, who is also an adult. Okay? When you see that, your first instinct as a mother is to get over to that situation. Am I correct or am I correct? Yes. So, I ran about half of an acre in about 3 seconds over to that car to stop what was going on. And as soon as I stopped it, the car pulled out of the yard. I think I handled myself perfectly. Now, if I left it up to my family to handle it, cops would have been called, someone would have been in jail, fines, whatever. All this unnecessary harassment would have happened. Take care of your own. Take care of your people. And what I mean by your people is not just your family, the people you care about. I have neighbors that have done things for me that absolutely blew me away. So I consider them my people. I have people that I talk to here on YouTube and the internet I consider my people, because they are people I care about and would do things for. Not just some stranger, not just some Tom, Dick, and Harry that is out for him. Your people. Okay, your family is not always going to be your people. Most of us have very dysfunctional, narcissistic families. So find your people, your tribe, the ones you blend in with. If it includes your family, good, great, that's great. You are one of the lucky ones, because not many people have that. Protect your own people. Fight for your rights. I put 2 signs up on my side door, since these kids like to think it's a private entrance to get to my son. I put up 2 signs on my side door, and I guarantee you not one of those kids will pull up to that door and get a knock on it. And if they do, they will encounter a mother. A mother who is working on getting her concealed license permit. I'm not playing around, people. I am not playing around. Today, because of the laws, because they don't want you to smack your children or hit your children, because everyone's gotten so freaking sensitive, I like to instill the fear of God into these kids. So I go with dramatic measures. You know, something you'd see like in a theater, on a play. I go to dramatic measures. And these kids listen to me. And I'll be damned if it works. It took me a long time, 16 years to figure it out. But I finally did. And I put the fear of God in these kids. Now, I never go through with what I really say I'm going to do. But just some choice words to kids really work. People, you'd be surprised. All right, everyone, have a good day.